Welcome back to Passion Point. This show is about your passion, your purpose, your potential. We're continuing with Maureen Brown, one of the foremost diversity trainers in Canada, a woman who's changing the organizational landscape in terms of employee engagement, and an inventor of a whole new stream of diversity games that are totally cutting edge and proud to say Canadian. Maureen, welcome back.
Thank you.
Let's cut to the chase, Maureen. We don't need to talk jargon. Let's talk knowledge, strategy, tools. The three critical things that has made your company a leader in the field. What exactly do you do to provide the client with knowledge, strategy, and tools that create greater engagement, that build a better bottom line?
Well, knowledge, strategy, and tools, first of all, means we provide information. Yes, we help you to grow in your understanding of how diversity impacts your environment.
Okay.
Strategy means we show you how to take this to a level where it's not just a one-off activity here and there, but it becomes strategic because it is geared to helping you achieve your goals as an organization. And tools means we provide some of the practical implementation supports that will help you to do this.
So in effect, you are helping to change the mindset, to create greater collaboration, to create greater engagement, to create an arena for both the employee and the employer where individuals and teams thrive.
That's right. So changing the mindset begins with the mind, literally the mind, and the way people think. And we do that through workshops, training. We have a variety of training. That's right. The variety of training materials that we develop. Assessments. Sometimes the mind needs to be stimulated into realizing that there are some things that may need to change. And so sometimes through an assessment, that's where the organization realizes what that needs to happen.
Yeah, and awareness is one of our most important levers for positive change.
That's right. So awareness comes through, it begins with an assessment. Once we know, all right, we definitely need to make some change in order to achieve corporate goals, then the answer can be a strategic plan. And the plan itself will help the organization to build awareness and build an inner desire for change. Sometimes the solution may be through training, and we have, as I was saying, a variety of training solutions. And the final piece may be implementation support. So it may be that what you need, you already have your plan. You just need perhaps a consultation, a shoulder to cry on when things are not going the way they need to go, a newsletter or some communications materials that will help you to put into action the awareness that you have gained.
And we know now that knowledge isn't enough.
That's right.
Knowledge, there's an expression, knowledge is power, but action is power. And
That's right.
what is unique about diversity trainers and the work you do is the bottom line results you create and the fact that you create a sustainable result for the organization. And I think that you provide knowledge and strategy, and that's really terrific. But one of the things that excited me about you as a 3Q leader is that you help raise the bar in terms of intellectual ability of the employees. You help to create greater engagement, greater collaboration, and you help to create enduring positive change.
That's right.
Through tools that are extraordinary, tools that you, Maureen Brown, invented, games that are the first in North America, a Canadian invention, and that are really speak to our passion, purpose, and potential. Tell me about those tools. Tell our audience, because they're terrific.
Well, I developed the games. They kind of grew out of the work I was doing. I became increasingly convinced that even when people, as you said, at an intellectual level, they understand there's a different way we need to engage, whether it's our client groups or our staff or our audiences. We know that. But sometimes at the emotional level, when you get a group of people in the room, sometimes emotionally it's difficult for people to take that next step. And so I invented these games. The one is called, for example, Bridges of Empathy. And you use puppets and you use coloring implements, and it's a great deal of fun. But what we're teaching there is, how do I, as a Black West Indian woman, how do I really begin to even understand what it's like to be a woman? What bridge is there between us? And typically in a work environment or a service environment, people think, well, I'm who I am, she's who she is, and the two shall never meet. Well, the game with puppets and scenarios puts people in a fun position where they realize, oh my goodness, there is a way we can cross this bridge. So that's one. We have a second one.
And that we are brothers and sisters. And there is a commonality.
That's right. That's right. And that's always a great realization when that game is played. The second game is about communication. Again, what are some of the invisible factors that may affect the communication between us, the relationship between us, that we may not even know about, our history, our traditions, the life experiences that we may or may not be having.
Our filters.
The filters that we use exactly through which we see each other. And so that game also, a lot of fun. We play them with game cards and they generate a lot of discussion. And then we have a third game on cultural intelligence and how that can build relationships. So it's about engaging people, in the work and service environment.
Well, I was really excited to have played all three games. Excited because they're unique, they're extraordinary, and they're really cutting edge, and they're Canadian.
Thank you. Yes, they are Canadian.
And what made me think part of the brilliance of your work is not only that you're a leader in the field and that you're passionate and you create sustainable results, but that you took a game, like what we know now from brain science is that the fun factor is critical. The passion factor has to be there, and that we actually learn better when we're playing games. We also develop better rapport. That's why cutting edge companies like Google actually have places for their staff to play, to engage. And the fact that you came up with 3 critical areas of engagement and turn them into games that will allow people to communicate better, collaborate better, understand each other. It's great work.
That's right. Thank you. Thank you. We get really good responses to the games.
And I have to think, Maureen, as a Jewish woman who used to be an invisible minority, became CEO of a steel business and became a very visible minority, which was a huge shock. Because you don't realize what it's like to be a visible minority and the prejudice you face until you're there.
That's right.
And I truly believe that the hope in our century lies in the hands of those who've been traditionally enfranchised and who don't want to be victims, but can rise above it and share their light with the world.
That's right.
Now, as a light sharer, Maureen, tell me about one of your studies growing up black in Oakville. Tell me about the impact of being a West Indian woman of color on your purpose, your passion, the results that you've achieved.
Well, first of all, if viewers, the study is available on my website, or they can give me a call, and I'll be happy to share it with them. It was done a few years ago, and it actually was triggered by my children growing up in Oakville as black children within a society that is not only predominantly white, it's also socioeconomically one of the richest communities in the country. And the question became, where do we fit? And so from that, I had the opportunity to interview other black children and parents and town mothers and fathers around this experience, and it was very, very, very enlightening, particularly because we're talking about a 905 area.
Yeah.
I was told it was a very unique study because we're not talking inner city, we're talking 905 suburbia.
Maureen, unfortunately, we're almost out of time, but I have a suggestion to make. I really think that the whole area of being a person of color in a white society and having brought up children who are wonderful human beings and have excelled academically, being different, visibly different in the culture is an important thing. It's an extraordinary thing. And I'd like to invite you back to talk about diversity in terms of parenthood.
Okay.
How do you raise a child to really flourish when the odds may be against it?
Excellent. No, that's a great question.
How do you really get their passion, purpose, and potential?
That's right. That's right.
Thank you, Maureen.